It's a brand new application. Even though it says return, it was for other reasons.
There's some programmatic things,
Yeah.
but they did, 7 years ago, they did a much larger project, and then, and, you know,
They never
it had a mudroom and an elevator, and after that, everything else is different. You know, there's some, there's nothing about what
So
was.
treat it as if
It's
it's.
Yeah,
a brand
it is,
new, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the Hakeem residence, 40 Campfire Road. The house was built in, I think, 1937, and we're adding a 2-story mudroom with an elevator in it. And then we're adding a 1-car garage with some pool storage room behind it that has a roof terrace. The garage is on the basement level, and then you come out the first floor on the roof terrace. And then we're taking the old garage and turning it into like a second kitchen, kitchenette area. When,
Beautiful, huh?
yeah, it's really nice. So I think it's all in a little over 1,000 square feet of, building activity. The mudrooms are. And it's got a Ludwig roof, so the new roof matches, and then stucco, and then some parts of the stone veneer that are gonna match.
You know, it's hard because there's no full elevations.
Yes, there are, 8, 4, and 5. So you're looking at all the square footage diagrams, that's all zoning. Your floor plans are DO,
Right, now these are all.
Okay.
if you wanna get to the elevations, 4.
Thank you.
Can you just point on the floor plan
Yeah,
where
so
all
you
the
can-
new stuff is?
Yeah, sure. I'll turn back, what is the number? Yeah, so what's happening here is, you come up around the driveway, and this is the house. And right now, we have a round terrace that I did in '89, so what we're doing, and you have a really steep stairs that comes up here. So what we're doing is we're putting, because we're putting an elevator in with a 2-story mudroom. And then down below, there's a garage with some pool storage back here, and then you go down some steps on your way to the pool, and then this goes down to the pool storage.
Taking off the circular
Yeah,
terrace and
Yeah,
putting
and
a garage
replacing it
and
with
then-
a like twice the size rectangular terrace.
and then the bigger terrace, and then 2-story, do you mean it's like 2 floors
Well,
or 2-story?
yeah, you go back 1 floor. What happens is one of those houses where this mudroom will really act as the main entrance, because there's a carport here, and you come over and you come through these arch doors into an entry vestibule, and then you go up the stairs here, you got your powder room, cubbies, closet, and then we're repurposing this as a little exercise area and a little kitchenette. And then this is where you have a 1.5-car garage, and then behind that is the storage room, so you can come.
This is the base.
Yeah, this is the basement, you come from the pool and go down.
Where, and what's the existing house? Is this
This
outdoors?
is the existing house.
So this is,
That's new.
this outdoor space now that you're filming.
Yeah, and then you come up and there's another walk-in closet in the boot room, and everybody takes their shoes off, and then out here we have a barbecue and a big terrace with an awning. And it'll make sense when you go to the elevator. And upstairs, we're just doing 2 bathrooms. And we're bringing the elevator up here. And then we go to the elevation. And this is where the fun starts. So this I did in '89, kitchen and a bay. And so we're repurposing the garage as, kind of a lower, has a, kitchenette. That's your mudroom entrance, and this is a sort of boot room in the walk-in closet. So it's just matching the pitch roof and the Luigi. And then you come out here, this is the roof terrace, and that's the 1-bay garage.
So this is all new?
Yeah, that's all new.
And then-
Everything,
This is all,
new.
All the, okay,
This is all new. This tower, let's see here. The elevator. Yeah, this is the new part. And here we're just replacing windows in a porch and some windows in the living room. And putting a little old-fashioned skylight on a skylight, and then the front door has like a shed Ludovici roof with brackets, and we're replacing it to match like one of the original roofs in the back. Just clear copper. And then that's the south end where we're just replacing the sunroom windows, the new little entry roof. That's the side view, of the old garage with the trash closet, the trellis.
This,
Yeah. That's a vent. Yeah, that was a vent that was there. And then this is on axis with this, kind of tower. You have stairs that go each way down to the terrace, halfway down to the pool. And then this is the side of the garage and the
It's a grand
Did you say you're
house.
adding a garage?
What?
I have one bay.
You're adding a woman.
Yeah, one bay garage. Yeah, so it's all in the style of, I'll show you something here. So this is here's the pool house that I did, in '89, same idea, just following the architecture and make the house bigger.
It's nice.
that's very nice. Bobby, John,
Thank you.
How old's the house?
1937. Yeah, I don't know who and what built it, but,
Trying to think of.
it's on 16 acres, that elder room. Yeah. Back when they were just, doing
Yeah,
the
no, I know
original
where,
splitting
I'm
up.
just trying to think of where it is.
I lived around the corner on Barnes Lane.
2 or 3 houses.
In
you know.
second
Oh, that's
grade.
it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, almost back in 1937. So
Yeah.
it was one of the original houses in that neighborhood. There's a couple colonials over there. Okay, thanks.
Thanks.
I do.
My resume. We haven't seen them in years.
Yeah, been here a while.
I think he did.
What? No? Just last week.
Yeah.
Did you ever do tendering?
Yeah.
What? The first drawing I looked at that didn't tell the story where, what he usually.
Hi. Hi. 3 to 5 o'clock? Yes. So this is a return.
It's the second one.
Yeah.
The homeowners or the?
We are.
You're the.
Were you here till last night? Oh, Bob, you weren't here.
I wasn't here either.
You wasn't here?
Where is this on Millwood or Memphis?
Yeah.
This is the new one?
Recording in progress.
I think you have to mute.
Do you have the last one?
Yep. This is the original Claudia Joe.
They were here in June.
No.
What did you guys see that that's exist? Is it the exist?
Is this the new?
Where's the new one? Where's the old one? I want to see the old new one.
This is the old, that's the new.
we have the, this one.
So this was the last presentation, what
Right.
you guys have come to
This isn't the one, this.
Yeah, this is the original.
It says board suggested study the massing, the front entry, the landing, the rear column. Yeah.
This is the original?
Yeah.
I did.
No.
That better?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what exists, this is what you showed us last week, right?
He had a lot of ballast.
Yeah, it was this one, this is the old one.
And what's the date on it?
No, this is the revised,
This
this
is
came in on
revised.
May 2nd.
But
But that's not what we.
that's not what we saw, we saw this, we saw
Yeah. that
this
was
design.
Hold on, where'd you see this? This one says March 28th, so it may have been this. What was that date?
11/27.
Is it this one?
Yeah, that was it.
Again, I didn't give them, give me the letter.
They want to study the front entry, the landing, the rear column, the entry stairs,
This is the one you saw, the last one.
and the doors moved.
Okay.
Doors not moved, they sent it,
they sent it.
It's existing.
and that,
Oh, yeah, the porch was
my
very
God.
deep, that's right.
That's fake.
So they, so, you wanna go through what you
This
changed?
is roof, not,
Do you wanna go
no,
through what
okay.
you changed? Why don't we have them go through what you
No
changed?
access balcony.
Okay, so I'm just zoom this in. So basically for my notes, we moved the smaller gables above these windows. I provide now entablature detail encasing the structural girder on top of the column.
This is the-
Here's the detail of that. I took the fascia on the rim board, we changed the fascia.
Do you have retaining walls on that side? Because in the photographs, it looks like the grade is much higher.
Well, we're gonna be bringing in a lot of fill for this to try to avoid retaining walls,
Okay.
alright? We centered the
That looks really high.
we abandoned aligning the stairs with the center of the front door and centered them in the proportion of the entire front elevation. Put a roof above that, a little gable, so a reverse gable, which
That's not something we have.
took out the center portion of the
Just break
railing.
it up, yeah.
And that was it, that's the notes I took.
We asked to center the stairs so they don't line up with the door, is that something?
Well,
Yeah.
we asked to look at it, yeah.
They asked me to study that, so that's a study of that.
You think that's
Yeah, but it
better?
looks, no.
I think it looks better with the house, I don't think it looks better with the door, but do you have a view from the
But
street,
it needs.
looking up at the house?
Sure.
Window. This is too.
A 3D view?
Like today though, and what are they changing?
Well, this is going all the way across.
No, I know, they're
Yeah.
not changing anything on the house
I don't
itself,
know.
it looks like they're putting up a roof here.
Yeah, it looks like there's. Where's the door? Here's the door. It looks like there's a window.
Is that at eye level view or?
Yes, that's that first floor,
No, I mean, are you,
That's a
are you,
grade
are you
view,
at 5 feet above the grade where,
Correct.
where you're standing?
yes.
Thank you, we need to.
Are you adding second floor space, are you lifting the roof?
No.
It's an optical illusion, there it looks like it lines up with the gables, here it doesn't. I mean, in the current house, the ridge line that goes across isn't as high as the peaks of the two gables. And there it looks like it's the same.
It is. If you get up there, it is.
On this photo,
You're way lower at that point.
This, how can this be the same height as this? It can't be.
Joins on
nothing
the,
but
joins at the back. I got these off of the existing construction drawings.
I'm hearing it. So are you what are you changing to the house, aside from
Adding
the
this
porch?
covered porch, that's
This
it.
porch.
That's it, that's
So
all.
then tearing down this garage and.
Okay, but the house itself is staying?
The house did not change.
So right now, is there a it's hard to tell because it's in shadow, is there a window next to the front door?
Oh, you
What changes the tree, do you see the site plan?
Will the new front door have?
So right now we have
Here.
one, like
Yeah, but
sidewalk.
how does it,
Right.
does it face the street? People can
There's no
see the
window
street.
next to that. It's just hard to tell in this photo.
No, the stairs are immediately to the left of the door.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, I see, it's just shadows, it's.
Yeah.
Is this your site back here? How
Yes.
close is this, how visible is this to the?
You can't see it from the street.
So there's no change to the height of the roof?
No.
Which windows not being changed, just
No.
remove existing windows, provide new elliptical.
That's all window.
The only thing that's being
Is
added
this-
is this,
is
everything
it
else is,
possible
except
to
they're adding
move
the
the
side
Yeah.
here.
The landing to the stairs are
The
Oh,
immediately.
right
architecture
there.
of this colonnade is so different.
Where your finger is where the stairs
Where the
begin to
stairs
go up.
behind.
Say something. You should say.
I mean,
Well, because.
oh wait, this, I'm sorry,
Even this, why did you do this here, why did you take that down?
well, this one's.
Did you get comments like that? We're not supposed to be adding you.
This one's-
You're not make those comments.
This one's simple.
This is why I, my previous design, I had that.
Right. But,
But why do you need a colonnade?
You like the way that
That's
this-
not-
Direction.
but if you
Oh,
only do the
let's see
stairs.
what
That's the way it works.
What?
That's not the impression I got in the last meeting,
Okay.
what I presented last meeting last night, so I changed it against my will.
What did you say, Claudia?
No, if he says that he doesn't like what he's presenting, I said he shouldn't present
I don't
something he doesn't
either,
like.
yeah.
Because, and I
provided what was
understand and I
requested.
appreciate that we try to.
Why do you have the bird, like this giant, almost bird cage railing on the second level when it's not really a terrace? Why don't you just put a roof on the porch? It's such a giant, bold statement. It's
That's
way
intentional.
too much, huh?
It's intentional. The giant bold statement is intentional.
I don't think it helps the architecture of the house. Why are you
No,
trying to make such a bold, who's
This
who's
doesn't
trying to make
work.
that statement?
This
Right.
whole thing.
Yeah, but
That's
he's not,
intentional.
he's talking about balustrades.
Is that you? Is that the homeowner?
Both.
This one?
Both.
It's
There were several iterations of the same thing, but we, from the beginning, from the inception of the project, were having that second floor. You could see the inspiration was from this photo that was given to me.
Where is that photo for taken?
It was just taken from Pinterest.
It's a different house.
It's
a different house.
It's a, you know, it's more in the spirit of the railing, the architecture of the house, I think.
Yeah, everything is centered and symmetrical.
I just think it's too loud for the house, too big a statement and I'm, you know,
This.
do you guys
this
really
doesn't
think
work.
that the
No.
stair in the middle, when you've got nothing but blank walls next to the door?
That's
No,
why
I don't
had
think
it
that
the way I
works.
had it last time.
I think it's better off lined up with the door.
Yeah, that's the
I
way I
agree.
had it, that's the way I had it last time.
Yeah,
But that's,
Shade?
I don't know,
I guess when we.
I don't
The
remember.
inspiration.
well, also, I don't know where this is at the time.
You know, I think, frankly, I think flat, we like this roof better. I don't.
No. No,
this
plus
is
if
not
this stair,
clear.
you know,
I wish there was a way you could, to line this up with the door, not have the railing, figure out a soft roof that wasn't creating such a tension, and then you'd have a nice functional terrace.
So can I be candid, at what point is this opinion?
It's
I mean,
always,
I'm practicing architecture for 37 years, and I don't like what I drew, but I felt I was asked to do it, so I did, against my will. So how do we
well,
come
I
up
could,
with a common ground?
so let's
This
try
is
to-
what my
that's the-
client,
that's
this
the
is what my
goal.
client presented to me as their desire. They want the railing on that second level. I don't like the gable roof I created, I don't like the stairs in the center, I like them centered on the door. I would prefer to go back to that, remove that gable, I changed the railing, the ballast on the railing, to match more the entablature design, which was also requested.
But the house that you showed us with the railing, first of all, it's a very small snippet, so it's hard to see the whole house.
Well, it was it was a conceptual.
Right, but the architecture of that house, I think, is different than yours, which is very plain and boxy, and
well, it's more
So-
kind of farmhouse style.
is it?
But even this is more balanced than what's presented in either of the schemes. This, in the existing one.
Well, that doesn't go the whole width of the house.
No, I understand, but you see, visually, it kind of is more balanced and centered.
Yeah.
Even if the stair is completely on the side, it does not, once you make this a kind of a bold statement with this big stair, like a kind of monumental
Well,
frontal
they're
stair.
gonna do
It's
that.
like these
And
flights,
it
one
is
inch.
off center,
They're gonna
accentuated with this,
They're gonna do that. What do you think?
it's
So,
almost
so
would have been.
the stair,
But the stair
coming,
goes in from the side.
yeah, the stair
Yeah.
coming into the front was, there's a desire here to change the topography in the front because it's very difficult to get up these stairs in all seasons, all weather. That's quite a climb. So we were bringing the stairs to the center and closer because we were planning on raising the grade. And I'm not sure at the end of the day how many rises there's gonna be, but it's gonna be as minimal as possible depending on how much fill we bring in.
Bring
I think it was
still-
asked
cost
to
you.
study this, not necessarily land on this.
Yeah, I tell them
I
to
think-
design. I don't tell them to design.
That's
I think what was said last time was to study this, but not necessarily to land on this. So you landed on it, but you didn't like it.
Right, so if I
So-
came back and said I didn't like it, I didn't change it, we would have been back to square one.
Well, there are other possibilities, though, there aren't just that one and this one,
Mhm.
right?
Well, we're working on this project for 3 years now, we've exhausted every possible design, and this is where we landed.
Well, for me, I don't think it's fits with the house, I don't think it's a handsome
This doesn't.
addition.
I agree with you.
I don't think either one does, I don't think.
I believe the last one did, I have to disagree with you
I
respectfully.
think it's overly grandiose and doesn't fit with the architecture of the house. So I think it takes away from the house, doesn't it?
It doesn't, because this reads like it's some sort of unit together, and this is all broken. Like almost if this was a balustrade and this stair was completely, because you see, you accentuate something that this all wants to be symmetrical, centered, and all of a sudden this is off. I understand it's existing and you're kind of stuck with it, but to accentuate something
I
with this.
kinda did that intentionally.
No,
I wanted to accentuate that the fact that
This
it's not
fact that it's-
symmetrical on the first floor and it is on the
I
second.
think.
I explored
That's
that.
an elevation, I think so.
maybe if it was like, because here, for example, the fact that the stair is on the side, it just does not.
But that's a
You don't want
completely
it.
different.
No, I know.
It's a completely
No, I
different
guess I
application.
can
Thinking that
understand,
maybe,
and I think it's
you
too
know,
big,
that was
that's everything else,
balustrade
but they're
and
allowed
that
to
kind of
have
was
it.
in the
I
background
just
and you
think
have
this
another
should be
stair
quieted, you know.
relating to something that,
So much of this land is not usable because of the slope. This is the reason for the size and proportion of this covered porch. They really have no place to enjoy their property. So this is the reason this is
For the
as large
deep
as-
porch.
Yes, we discussed this last time.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I think you're I don't have a deep porch, we're not gonna.
Oh, no, you were quite critical of that last time.
Well, I think it is too big, but I wouldn't, I would just suggest it's too big, but
I would like to, if I may make a suggestion, go back to the way it was. I kinda like the new stair that I have, but shift it to the center of the door.
You didn't have handrails in the first one,
Yeah, we fixed that.
so that's just
Yeah.
not even the code.
But the choice of balustrades, it's such a bold statement that doesn't fit with the house.
That's your opinion, and I respect it, but I don't agree with it.
Okay, but that's what I think about you guys. You guys,
No,
I feel like the architectural statement is way too bold for this house and doesn't fit with the house and actually detracts as a package when if this were to be built. I would suggest simplifying the handrail, choice of handrail and the choice of balustrades. Make the roof, take off the balustrade if you're not using the roof and put a roof on it. Put a roof on it. So think about what a 16-foot roof is gonna look like with this house.
That's why I don't have it. That's why we made it flat, and I did change the baluster
I mean,
design.
you can even tell from the section
So
looking
if you know,
through it.
if I scroll in here, you'll notice I changed the baluster design.
John, should we give like the history?
Sure. Speak.
We started with a roof. And then there were all these reasons though why we ended up landing on a flat roof. Like it didn't work, right?
Yeah, it wasn't working, because we were so far out by the time the pitch made it to a point where I could have a pitch.
Because of the 16 foot.
Right,
Yeah,
it was hitting the
yeah, that-
windows.
Well, did you think about, do you need a 16-foot roof? I mean, do you want the whole thing to be covered? And think about the way you're
So-
using it. Maybe if you had a roof come out a partial way, maybe it wouldn't be as bold and some of the terrace would be not covered, some would be.
Yeah.
That was our initial design, but we went with the flat roof because this is where we are in the house. There's really no backyard. Everyone's out in front. This is our entertainment. This is our house, and that's why we wanted it this way.
The porch.
And that's why we told
Right, but does it all be
Constructed the
covered? Most people's backyards doesn't have it covered.
We already reduced it from 20 feet.
We were originally.
Before we
went out
became
for
this.
estimates, and the contractors had a conversation with us, and we agreed, not because of the contractor would build 36. We agreed to reduce it 4 feet, not the architect. The contractors had a conversation with us. That was a change in our original scope, because we were going with 20.
Okay. It's still a gigantic roof and a gigantic addition to the front of the house.
The biggest challenge with our property also is elevation. So if you notice in those pictures, the house goes like this and the garage is on the basement level.
Right, that's what I'm saying. In the photographs, it looks like the grade is up to here,
Grade
on
is
this side.
96, 96 across the board.
I don't know where 96 is.
I tried, in my renderings, I tried to depict what it would look like after the fill was brought in.
Right,
Right, I know, but in the photograph, it looks like there's a mound of
no,
earth up to there.
96, I picked it long ago, before we hired anybody. 96.
Yeah.
What's 96?
Yeah, but there it is, but then it
Elevation,
dips down,
sir.
see how it dips down?
says.
Yeah, so I'm trying to bring it, I'm trying to get it to where it's even, so they don't have this tremendous stair to constantly have to negotiate.
So where is going to be
So
a
it's-
So I'm trying to make the flat part grade the
That one?
bottom of this truck, which is
They're
now
trying
gonna
to
be a
it's gonna be
retaining.
somehow sloped up.
Which is through there, the stone.
It doesn't,
So
it looks like it's sitting on a plateau,
level
but
is where they're from?
This
it's
level
so
here
prominent,
is-
so there, so.
Yeah,
Where,
but all the way
on
across.
this photo here, it looks like there's some flat yard, you have a picnic table, where is it?
Correct, that's the back of our house.
Yeah.
So if you
It's
look
all
at the
ledge.
front of the garage is at the basement level.
The back of the house is a mountain.
Yeah,
Right.
so is the garage in the front?
Yeah.
So this.
Side
Do you
front.
want me to show you?
Yes.
Hold on, just
That
one
whole here
conversation,
and
yeah.
then.
Exactly.
So you're saying that, that this is the backyard?
That's the backyard.
I
That's the
thought,
back
I
of the
thought someone
house.
said the backyard wasn't flat, or you couldn't
They
use the
said cliff right
backyard.
after that,
It's
just go straight up.
yeah, so it's the front of that, so you see that.
There's like a
top-
small porch in the back and then it just goes straight up.
You see the top left picture? That
Yeah.
garage on the left, that's level with the basement.
That's what was
And
based.
where you're seeing that picture taking, I was standing on a ledge crossing. So the ledge presents itself quite frequently in the backyard.
Is this porch that you want going here?
Yes,
Correct, so we're leveling the front.
we're gonna be bringing in a lot of fill
You gotta bring, how much, you gonna bring fill to get to this level?
to get to the bottom of the trellis line. That's the
How
map
far
picture.
out does the fill come? You know what fill
Uh,
costs?
that's up to the site
So that's
engineer.
also,
Fill costs more than construction.
Yeah.
I've done it.
We're coming in at 96, and it's basically going to go to the original 88. We're not modifying the last 10 feet.
How far out from the house are you filling?
Filling,
You said you're bringing in fill.
I don't wanna jeopardize the design. It's on the drawings, but
It's on the
like
site
as I
plan.
said,
We had a site engineer provide drawings for cut.
it's,
Do we have a site plan? Is
the
that-
road is on original soil,
I don't know.
and that governs all the slopes.
It's not on that plan, those are the architecture.
How are you draining this room?
It's part of the engineering.
That's part of the engineer.
Fill in the front.
I have a 2% pitch, and then after that, it's up to the engineer what.
So on this plan here, this is, you're filling in here
Right,
Correct.
and you're filling in from the house out.
Correct. I'm not certain, you have to look in the topo. That went back and forth a few times.
This is okay. This is 88. So you said 96 is gonna be the finished grade after you fill?
correct, all the way across.
All the way, so, but off your property, it's down to 83.
Pardon me?
I see a contour of 83.
It's gonna be quite a task filling that in, yeah. That's one of the major purposes of this project. It's very difficult for them to get from their house to their home. Without
So,
filling in
so
that.
when I asked you from the view from the street, you were at 88 and the grade's at 93?
Well, you from the street, you won't see it. We discussed that last time we were here.
This isn't the street?
No,
Okay.
this isn't, this
It's
is
the outside.
120, I think that's 129,
The street's here.
133.
133.
So you can't
That's
see
the
the
top
house
of the
from the street.
mountain. We're on the valley.
Nor can anyone here see anything, it's a dent, it's
But the
really in
new
the woods.
garage is still going to be
Here, right here.
basement level? That's what you tell me.
Yes, the garage is.
The garage is
Giant
gonna
garage.
remain basement
Yeah.
level.
Then I have a stair system in between the garage and the house,
Uh-huh.
connecting the two structures, and that's how you get from one to the other. Yeah, I have it here.
Uh-huh. When?
So, I don't know if we should all individually talk, I mean, different thoughts.
I think we all agree that that central part, including you, doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
So, yeah.
I propose taking the new stair design, centering it in the door, and removing that gable, the reverse gable, and just continuing.
Can you
And what about
soften the
this-
roof,
what about
can you lose the balustrades and somehow soften the
That's up to the
architectural?
owner, I mean, I.
And what about this, I mean, what about
You
this?
guys agree with me, I mean,
Yeah, we don't go last time.
What do you mean by soften?
They wanna get rid of the railing.
the visual impact of the,
We picked
the
the
whole-
railing, not the architect. He gave us options, and my daughter and son-in-law, that picture that we showed originally,
Yeah, this
that's
one.
around the corner from my house. I had them go look at it for the last 10 years. and we came up with the railing.
But it's
That's
on a
simple.
different house. It works on that house. It doesn't work, we don't think, the board, I think, if we're in unison, doesn't think that that can be applied to your house and look the same way.
It's much different, it's a much more elaborately detailed house. It has a lot more columns and it's broken up, you've got these incredibly long spans between your columns.
Right.
It also,
I think
the
it's
depth of
fixed.
this porch is only about, I would guess, 8 feet. So half of yours.
Trim is different.
Yeah, everything is different about the
It's just a
house.
different
So the
house.
spans between columns is only 10 feet, so that's not that long.
But you're taking an element off somebody on a different house and putting it on yours, and your
Well,
house
we
is
did.
different
There's-
than theirs.
There's a lot elaborate railing than what the architect depicts on this drawing.
Well, I think what you're hearing from the board is that we're not comfortable with it.
Yeah, but I don't know if, I have an architect son-in-law who lives right around the corner. This board, I asked him, is this board responsible for design? He told me no. So I don't know how you can bring in design if that's not your responsibility.
It is well,
That's
it's not a
basically all.
responsibility, but yeah, our responsibility is to look at the design that they presented to us and comment on it and try to steer it into something that we think is appropriate for the house and for the community.
That's a good goal. But this house is an original cottage of 1940s that was added on 3 times. And the reason why the garage is at the basement level was because the town approved to drag half of the dirt off the property to allow parking in the basement. 1941, it's all in the documents.
What does that have to do with the railing on your terrace?
I didn't hear you, sir.
What does that have to do with the railing on your terrace?
Well, because it's a very difficult property. They couldn't sell the property. I told my daughter, don't buy it. The people could not sell it because of that. We spent a lot of time before we hired anyone. My son-in-law and I spent a lot of time understanding the topology that we had to deal with and the cost, more importantly. We developed cost estimates before we hired John, before we hired Joe. We had a pretty good idea what was it gonna cost to bring it up to elevation.
The longer the length of the porch.
But again, his question was,
What
what
does that
does that
have to do
have
with
to
it?
do with the railing?
We're-
What
we're-
does it have to do with the railing?
We're
Can you
not
just allow me for a
comfortable.
minute? You
we're
both
not-
allow me
we're-
for a minute? So, again, this is going on more than 2 years, because I
Yes,
remember the
this
COVID.
was
when
4
this is-
years.
okay. So, this design has been back and forth for several years.
It hasn't been here.
To
It
us?
hasn't been, no.
Not
It
for
hasn't
4
been,
years
no.
here.
Have we seen it before last week?
No.
No.
Okay.
So, and the reason is because in order to get to this point, we had to get through the site engineering, we had to get through construction drawings to be able to submit. So we are ready to submit for building permit, which gets us now before you. So we didn't do this haphazardly, is what I'm saying. We did it with the care and respect under my license and with the care and respect of what the owners want. So it's not like we're coming to you, we worked on this for 3 hours. This is going on for years. And while I respect everybody's opinion, I have to say strongly, opinions are subjective. I mean, you can get 50 architects in a room and put something in front of them and half of them will love it, half of them won't, for a variety of reasons.
But you've got a board of 5 people who is in unison, all feels the same
Well, I have to
way.
respectfully disagree with all of you.
But we're the board, we're the architect.
I understand that, but I'm asking for consideration to my level of experience and to the needs of the client.
We're not comfortable with the design as it's presented.
I mean, it for what it's worth, not that it's an excuse, nobody can see this house from the street. Nobody.
That's not worth anything.
And so the reason I'm saying that is, isn't it the ultimately what the owner thinks is nice on their own house, where nobody else could see it? I could see if we were in the neighborhood and this house was up against several others, and everyone had to see it coming and going from work or about their daily lives. But the only person who sees this house, the only person, is the owner. They come in,
Are
they
you
drive.
saying then people shouldn't be seeing this?
No, I would love for
Design.
people to see it, but what I'm trying to say is at what point does the owner have to say on what goes on in their property?
The owner always has to say, but they need to get approval from the town's architecture review board. And we're doing our best to try to steer you to create a handsome addition to the house.
I believe my last rendition was better than this one by far.
Yeah, no,
It's
this
over.
is.
We agree, but it's
We
still
agree.
not
Well, not
approvable.
with, I mean, there are certain details
I mean, I would like
that
to-
need
This
be
is
addressed.
better, this is better, so there are certain
I think
elements
some good
that are-
things that came
yeah,
out of it was the
but
stair.
this is definitely not.
Okay,
And-
so I think the stair shifted to be centered on the door, the way it was, the new stair with the railing and the correct tread and rise. The rim board change, I agree with. I agree with the entablature detail.
You were arguing against that last time,
I know, but-
strongly.
I struggled, but
I mean, I think, I understand all the infrastructure work, all the site work, you spent 3 or 4 years on it already, but I don't think what you presented last time had a lot of thought about the design and the detail and the massing, and that's what I was concentrating on last time with all of my comments, and I wasn't telling you, I said study putting a roof there, I didn't say it would work, and it obviously doesn't.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think some of the improvements you made were things that you should have done on the first go around by putting the rim board on, by doing the entablature. But my previous comments about the relentless balustrades, as if you were putting the company into business, the baluster company into business, it's too much. It's missing a lack of restraint in the design, and what we're trying to do, what our board does is make sure the design fits the house. It's not because if somebody likes Mount Vernon with 2-story columns and they wanna slap it on their house, would you say that's fine?
I don't know at what point I have a right.
We like the flat roof, that's our design. We,
Do you like the balusters on a non-accessible porch?
so this is where it goes beyond what I understand, like the balusters is that railing.
The upper
Yeah.
balustrade.
Yeah.
So
You're spending a
to
lot of
me-
money on that.
So to me though, like I feel like I could put any railing on that once we pick.
Or no railing.
Or no railing and a
Or no
roof on
railing.
it, and try to get a handsomely shaped roof over your terrace
But there's
without,
always a fundamental question, at what point do we tell an owner what they can have and can't have on their property? That's a fundamental question.
Oh, we are guiding.
Yeah, we're trying to find it.
No, and my
that line is
Because
always
there's always
very
a
gray.
the line is gray.
But there are good designs and there are gray zone and there are inappropriate, not so handsome designs.
No,
think
but
we
you can't
feel-
say that definitively,
It's
you
not
could say
like
that from
we
your
have to-
perspective.
So what's wrong
Let me
with
give you
the
an
railing,
example.
in your opinion, besides just,
Can you excuse me for a minute? And by all means, I'm not putting myself in the company of any of these famous architects. I sat on an architectural review board in a very high-end community. Let's keep the names out of it. Every single home in that community looked exactly the same. It was a castle-like construction. Okay, every single home. And if it didn't look like that, it wasn't approved. So I asked the question in one of the ARB meetings, if I was Mies van der Rohe coming in with a postmodern glass house, would you approve it? No. That to me is a jarring statement.
But we would,
Yeah, we
if
would.
the design is good.
That's this board.
Okay.
That's this board. But
Every
what
board is different.
every board is different. So at what point does an owner have a right? I need an answer to this question because it's very frustrating. At what point does an owner have a right to do what they want to do on their property?
They actually, I think the answer is they don't actually.
They don't.
We're a community, we're not individuals, we're a community.
And the board was established to prevent people from putting something, what we see as incompatible, onto their structure. And
Okay,
that's
so then
that's-
can we come up with a compromise?
we-
where-
again, the last time I said I'm not designing it for you, I was giving you
No,
suggestions.
I'm telling you what I would like to do is the next, as the proposition. Bring the stair back to align with the center of the door, remove the reverse gable, keep the changes we made with the rim board and the entablature, The columns are not a tremendous span, they're only 11 feet apart and change. That's not tremendous at all. Keep the railing as the owner's designed. I did change the ballast on the railing. It's more matched the entablature. I chose an entablature detail. So I believe at least 80% of what was requested in the last meeting I provided. The other 20 I provided, I don't like. So I'm suggesting we go back to all of the changes I made with the stair aligned with the front door, center, and keeping the railing.
We should each give our comments, and we're gonna be here for hours, I guess. I mean, I just feel like.
Because we could
No, I
keep
think we're in
doing this.
consensus here.
We could, we could keep going on and on, and the owners wanna build this, they want their house.
We do, and this has been very long in the making, we want our final house. We built that house in 2018, the actual house, and I'm tired of walking out the door on a construction driveway.
No, we can appreciate that, but you haven't come up in front of us until April.
I
This
So-
committee
understand that.
approved
I
architecture of 1988. Why don't you show the reports that was there that they approved?
It's there, they have a picture of it.
Take a look at that original.
Well, it wasn't this board.
1988,
You weren't.
just got out of college.
No, but this is.
Oh, was the BAR? I don't think the BAR was here in 1988. Was it Bob?
Only to me,
I was in Queens.
I mean, it's irrelevant.
It's 2018. Yeah.
Oh, 2018.
2018.
It was not
Yeah, like that.
1988.
Oh,
Yeah, 2018.
Yeah, 2018.
what was approved?
The portrait's there now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's not, I mean, it's a
8 foot.
small,
But that was,
this new
that
porch you're
fits,
trying
that
to put
design.
on
8
is
foot
a
by
giant
24.
architectural element,
I
it's
don't
so.
think that fits at all. That's where I don't think that looks good in the least.
Yeah, when you come to the house, it does
Yeah,
not look good
It
at all.
does not. It
This
does
is a
not fit the
dramatic
house.
improvement to it.
Yeah.
And there's probably, if I had the time, I could probably find 100 homes with these proportions, these large front porches.
We used right around the corner on 133. That's the number, right? The number of the road, Leanne?
Yeah. no,
Yeah, there's one.
There's a road, there's
They're
a
just
house,
wearing it now.
huge.
I know, we
One
have to
eight-
come to a
No,
conclusion because-
that's what I'm,
Okay,
and it's
what I'm
Are you
saying.
suggesting that we go completely back?
No,
And
no,
it's the
Okay.
same.
No, what I'm suggesting is I already shared
So
with
let's
you the
just move
changes
on.
that I'm
This was to
good.
move this way.
I agree the entablature looks better. I agree the rim board worked. I agree the stairs with the proper retaining wall around it with the right railing and the right tread and rise work. I just like to shift that over so it aligns with the front door, take off the reverse gable, and we're done.
And I mean, again, I'll just say that we'll go down the road because I don't wanna be taking all the airspace here. Because I think the choice of the balustrade is still not the best for the house, and I think a roof of that size and that complexity is just overwhelming for the house.
What if you did a flat roof that you just don't have the balustrade?
Well, that's what we had
But
already
they-
mentioned.
they want to,
We went
that's
back
what
and
they
forth
want.
on that several times.
Well, you solved previous versions with just a roof, right?
The flat roof,
With just the
Yeah.
front,
Well, you're
yes.
still talking
No-
the flat
with no
roof, we're
railing.
talking about without
No,
the decoration.
I mean, if you're
Because it's
worried
not
about cost, why are you putting a railing up there?
because
They like the
We like the
aesthetic.
design.
the
We like the
daughter
design.
of my granddaughter has a window 2 feet off when the roof is built. It's, that window is essentially 2 feet off the
Two-
first floor.
2 feet off the first floor?
Right, so
I'm
she-
talking about the second floor.
Yeah, that's what I'm referring to. The
Yeah.
second floor
First-
windows are
Well,
2
the
feet
sill, I
off
think, he means
the
the
floor.
sill of the window is 2 feet
And
off
they
the
they
finished
can
floor.
climb out
They're not the first
From the
floor,
inside.
the second.
from the inside.
He said the
finished
first
floor.
floor.
That's why
He
we're
said
not,
first.
putting- you asked, when we were here last, are we gonna utilize
Yeah, I asked,
that?
is there access to the roof? And the
And
answer
my
was no.
daughter said no because of the safety concern of our daughters, their daughter and son, so.
What does that have
Furthermore, I
to do?
haven't seen a flat roof on a multi-million-dollar house around here. I haven't seen a bare flat roof, not one place. Direct me to one and I'll be happy to look at it because I haven't seen it. Not around here. I'm from Rockland. Okay, I'm not knocking Rockland. cause I moved down here in '82 with my family. But I didn't see any flat roofs without the railing in Rockland. But there's not many flat roofs. John was born.
Okay,
There aren't many patios
There are
this
flat
size.
roofs,
I
but
don't understand why you're
So
focused on
can I,
flat
can I
roof,
make that
pitched
suggestion?
roof, I don't understand this.
That be the middle ground, the compromise, what I just said?
well, we have to
Not
see it.
flat,
I
yeah.
mean, we'll see it.
You know, the whole design, I
We
understand,
can't
is
say
held
that
up
we're gonna disapprove.
because of this committee not approving this. I don't know how many more months. We spent a lot of money up front on this job, my daughter.
We
She's
never, we
complaining
didn't
about
meet
Joe
you until
Robinson
2
who
weeks
made us
ago.
invoice.
Yeah, but
Why is it so much money?
What is the criteria for coming in? Do you have to have the construction drawings complete? Cause I was
No,
told that I
no,
had to
no,
submit
no, just
construction
the
drawings.
elevations, elevations.
The elevations.
Just design.
Get the
for-
design intent, and what we
And then do
approve
the
can't
construction.
change to the construction drawings.
Some people bring the construction drawings, but that's not
But the
necessary.
review, I'm understanding review cannot commence until you say okay. Is
Correct,
that true?
right, but
yes.
between us
Construction of
improving,
2x4s have gone up.
but
2x10s, we're using a lot of 2x12s on this job. They are escalating. Siding is no longer available. We have a Canadian outfit that we originally purchased it. We have a separate deal where they're gonna make the siding for us. But what are we supposed to do? Spend $20,000 and we're gonna be in paperwork for another 3 years?
it's the president some of us voted for.
Alright, we need to wrap this up.
Yes, we did.
We did.
Well, can I just hear from,
Make a decision.
can I just hear verbally rather than say I agree? Can I just get an elaborate opinion from others? I mean,
Yes, I think you should.
Can we
Joe,
start
why
with
don't you,
you?
what's your?
Sure.
And what is your position here? Are you also?
Building inspector.
Building, oh, I'm sorry.
I think if your intent is to match this design, I think
Not match it.
It's
if
just
the
a
intent is
conceptual.
to
That was the beginning artistic.
this
Let us get through,
provide
let us get through
inspiration,
our
I think
discussions
the balance
first.
is on this. Looks like they're 2 inch by 2 inch, right?
Okay.
Painted white. I think that fit would look much nicer on this proposal. These do not work at all,
Aren't
in
they
my
2
opinion,
inch? I think they're 2
for
inch.
this design of this house. Just doesn't work. I would try to align some of the columns that you have here.
Okay.
I would definitely reposition the stair
Mhm.
with the door.
Okay.
I would show the hatch pattern of some of the siding. I think this image at the top is not helping at all. Right, these images below, much nicer, this reads much nicer. We can visually see how this works, the siding works, the window, the trim. Okay. Ignore the color, the hatch on the stone is not helping at all, right? Like all these things are taking away from your intent that we're focusing on, and that we shouldn't be focusing on.
What are you gonna ask? He's designing the front of the house, you're asking. My daughter doesn't understand what you just described, because one thing, we couldn't hear you, but you got into the detail of a drawing that she doesn't have in front
Do
of
you
her,
have, you,
so help her
I'm
along.
taking notes, I'll go over it with you.
Claudia?
Yeah, no, I have similar, obviously this
So there it
this
is,
stair needs to be moved,
okay, and I took note of it.
but I wish, I would have simplified a little bit, like maybe make it straight, but if you like the straight way, you have it, and that's okay, and definitely, I agree, simplifying, I also think that the drawings look better, that's actually what Joe was saying, was mostly visual presentation of the rendering, that's what I guess,
That's
he
not gonna work.
wasn't designing, he was just saying that this not give justice to what the intent of your design in terms of presentation of the drawing, so that was what he was saying. And what is this? Let me ask you, what is that thing? That little column, or what is this?
Well, that's a Bow's.
And what is
It's
this?
just, it just
Where
has,
is it? It's not
because the garage is on a turn, when Revit takes the cut through that, it's just picking up the one. It's a viewport issue in the program.
Oh, it's not on here.
Oh, so it's just a mistake, basically.
It's, yeah,
Okay, okay.
yeah.
Cause this is a different drawing.
Well,
This was
because
the
this is the previous, we are concentrating
Oh,
on
that's the previous one, that's why.
Okay. Yeah, and
I mean, you
definitely
could,
the windows.
I mean, as we're talking, I'm just making a few
The
changes, look how much
windows-
better that looks.
Yeah,
The windows, I agree with Joe, aligning certain elements
Mhm.
vertically.
Yeah, okay.
So that they don't,
Yeah,
or
take
or
off
if
the
they
rail.
don't align, just make it.
I mean, you just
It
added-
looks better 'cause it also gets more
Okay, I'm sorry.
columns.
And I would also add some columns if
well, you just did.
Yeah,
Well,
you
we-
get,
we
you
wanna be-
have, see,
But
you
you
have more
just
columns
added-
here.
I'm
You
not
just
crazy
added-
about it, but I'll work on it. It
But one of the
obstructs the view.
things that you may like about this besides the railing is that it has more columns and that's what's giving
Could be.
it,
I think
it's
the
not
And-
just the column.
this
And that's the point about-
proportions of this versus this, like for example,
I mean,
this bay
that's
aligns
better.
with the columns of this, and so it reads like a little
Right.
bit more structured. You may not be able to do this in your house, just because of,
I'm taking notes.
well, you can't really do it on this house, so not, well, I guess because you have the door and.
But look, I mean, in the 5 seconds that I just worked on that is so much more.
Cause you have 3 bays of columns on the left that are tightly spaced. That
Yeah, but
all
that-
automatically looks better.
But that looks better.
Yeah, it looks better. You don't think
I
so?
disagree.
Oh, you don't think so?
I'm sorry.
I see.
Okay, but there's gotta be a happy medium.
Well, but I also,
I'm very much in agreement with the columns lining with the center of the windows, and that I could work on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then there's
That
just the
works.
kind of order and
That
order.
works.
I mean, if it is possible, like from this inspiration, you see how this upper bay aligns with the lower one. Maybe not possible, but you can maybe try to do that.
So take a look at that picture, that bay comes out, it's not the same plane, and that's why that works so well there. See how that bay comes out about 2 feet? It's
Right.
not a straight plane.
Right, no,
So-
but you see this one versus this one.
Okay.
It looks like it aligns,
Okay.
and you going much farther
Okay.
than 2 feet, so. Yeah, so these would be the suggestion, just
Okay.
straighten it and take what you, this looks much better just because it's simplified.
Okay.
That would be my suggestion.
I mean, I have to agree with all the comments that have been said before. One question I have is on the previous drawings, you have these eyebrow gables, is that
Take them
something
off.
you wanna keep?
No,
No,
get rid
no,
of it.
Oh, you're gonna take,
We were-
Yeah,
and
not
the-
in this one.
Here,
okay, you're gonna take it, okay.
Yeah.
And the
It's off,
not
it's
taken.
off.
okay, that's all off. Okay,
It's off.
then I just agree with everyone else. I think adding columns would be good and alignments and that's representing this, your inspiration, so.
Cameron?
Okay.
Anything else?
Well, why don't we
I mean,
look at the
everything's
final, why don't you finish it?
Hang on, hang on.
Well, you
No, they
can
don't
finish it all, we have other
No,
people
they have
on
other
the
people.
list.
They have other
All they gotta do is put the railing up,
Hang on,
it's
hang on.
done.
No,
No, it's not.
No,
It's
there's a
all
lot
there's
more, there's a
left.
lot more work.
It's not.
Hold on.
So what if you also pulled the upper railing in, if you absolutely have to have that railing, what if you pull the upper railing in 2 feet from the edge?
Okay.
I'm just saying, I don't know if
I
it
mean,
looks
it
good or
doesn't
not.
change the elevation, but
I'm
it
not
certainly
saying it
changes
looks good or
perspective.
not, but I think it would help this, what I was complaining about last time is you've got this massive railing just going around the whole deep porch. And-
Maybe the railing doesn't have to be 3 feet high.
No, well, I don't know.
I can try that.
These are all the things that I was trying to get you to come up with, not, we don't design.
I don't know
for-
that I agree with that, but I'm trying to
I
compromise.
think that's one suggestion I was gonna make.
So right now, I'm in a position of trying to present things that I might not be 100% on, but if I'm 50 and you're 50, we get the client their job.
That's the goal.
But then the argument about their daughter climbing out the
Yes,
window.
exactly.
Doesn't hold.
Then
Yeah.
you
So
have
a
to
3
have
feet.
3 feet
Oh,
if it is.
Well,
Doesn't, so
It's
I'm
either
saying
railing or
keep,
not.
if you have to, so you really are making it a habitable terrace or a occupiable terrace, pull the railing in, let's say 2 feet from the edge of the roof. Maybe it's gonna look better,
I'll
just
see what that
so
looks
it looks like it's not this massive porch. And I definitely think the more columns you have, the spacing on the left already looks better. And then along with all my other comments that you did, which were the entablature and the rim board and all the details that you would in the first time.
All
No.
That
Yeah,
helps.
because that's one of the concerns, so it's
Here's here, like open. Also
Yeah.
here, there's a little
Right.
slope, you see that's why it's pulled out.
yeah,
There's a tiny slope on the,
You could fall out the second
On
floor
this-
window
on this
without a
one.
gate there. and then
on the
you-
inspiration.
I know,
Oh, yeah.
well, because
Yeah.
the
I know.
windows are
It's
low.
all the details.
I know,
They're
it's just,
2 feet
it
from-
makes it,
from the floor.
it's
What
a,
about enough?
you know, it's,
I'll
What?
work on that.
What about the other
Okay.
side?
Okay, we're good.
Sure.
Did we hear from you, or I think we got yours, right?
Yeah, I was just, I
Yeah, I
just
think
didn't hear
he's-
from this gentleman here.
No, the one,
oh,
Me?
Robert? Yes, you.
No, look, we want you to be successful, we want you to get an approval, we feel an obligation to give our thoughts and opinions, I think, you know, it's not my board, it's our board, so I think if you can I would suggest that you do some studies and maybe more than one to come back with us, taking some of our comments into account and see if we can get to some sort of a compromise where, you know, one of the overriding concerns of mine and I think some others initially is that it was so much, it was so loud, it didn't fit in harmony with the building. And if you can get the function you want and soften the look a little bit, that would go a long way, I think, to satisfy.
Daisy, can you
Is
give me
there
the
anyone
deadlines,
to the
please?
board
That's it.
with
The next meeting is the 21st, so
Yeah, there are-
deadline would be
there are-
next week, the
there are-
14th.
there are two-
There are two, but we will not have them bring up new items. We won't, no, they're not, actually, it's something we've been talking for the reason you're concerned about is you don't wanna come in and somebody starts from the beginning. We won't do that.
But you are also welcome to bring studies, as we've discussed, so it doesn't have to be one final thing, I know you want one final thing approved, but if you're still, you know, in your head not certain about a direction, bring some options.
So bring your favorite,
Yeah.
but bring some other studies that might be in between, so it's good for conversation and will help get
My daughter is very strong-willed, but it's a
We-
private affair in her head.
Okay, we have a few more applications.
Yeah, we
She
do.
is not gonna have, she is not gonna end up having any options. I believe me.
You'll automatically be on the next hearing.
Thanks,
and,
Dad.
I had the option of having her concede. Other than that, she runs the show. She wanted 100,000, okay, here it is. Not on this house. It's 2018. My wife can't understand how that even happened today.
2:30 Pine Street.
Thank you.
Thank you.
235 foot?
Good evening.
This one's also a return from last meeting.
Yeah, we
This-
took,
Daisy,
Do you have the other drawings?
No, you didn't. This is the last meeting. You missed this one. That, the one before, that one was from April 2nd. This one's April 16th.
Yeah,
This one you missed.
yeah, yeah, that's
April
what I meant.
16th, yeah, but they came to April 2nd.
Yeah, no, I know.
Do you have the,
I thought maybe they
Hold on.
came again.
right, the last one, I wasn't there. Yeah, I wasn't. Let's see.
What did they do?
No.
So we
Can you walk us-
requested the, for accurate plans, a roof plan, adding windows to align with the existing windows and to study the brackets from the front elevation.
Okay, can you
Which
show
is-
us the?
which
Good
is-
evening, yes, we went back, we took an advisement to the recommendations of the board and we kinda adjusted the drawings. If you notice on the first the front elevation.
So which page are you on?
That-
Is that it?
That just,
I
this,
think the front.
this is just a combination sheet that shows the elevation of the floor plans, it's the same thing, so you can look at either one.
So this one or the other one?
Either one, they're the same, but this one over here, you can look at the plans and the elevation at the same time, to just make it a little bit easier. If you notice at the garage elevation of it, if you want the same sheet as the second sheet, but this is the combination, the floor plans and the elevation on one sheet. No, if you could just lift up the sheet, the next sheet is this one.
What is this?
This is just to make it easier to look at, this, the floor plans and elevation
Oh,
on one sheet. Just to make it easier, you know. But if you notice at the garage, what we've done is we moved the double window to align with the window above, and we added another window here. This window was moved to be aligned with this, I think it's more symmetrical now, and it works a
That's
little.
what you guys asked for.
Yes, that's what we were talking about the last time. And we adjust the location, the third window. We tried to balance them as much as we could. We wanted to keep a little bit more space between these two windows to allow for the king size bed to fit between them.
Hold on,
And
this is.
No, these are identical.
Yeah,
I know,
Where's the old
Okay,
one?
where's the old one? I wanna see the old one.
This is, I'm sorry, this is the old one.
Okay, so what
No, but you
changed?
have the three windows.
They look
here.
good.
I'm sorry, on the original window over here, yeah, they were there, but this original window was not shown on the floor plan. I take that back.
Okay, this is
No,
the
this
old,
does not change.
okay, it
Okay,
didn't change. So what did change?
This changed.
that
See, you
area
changed
there.
these, you added
Yes.
a window and
Uh-huh.
took
Yes,
this off, what
so
else
that's
changed?
better.
That is better. What
That's
else?
basically, on the rear elevation, we
talked about
adjusted
brackets in
in
the
here.
garage, did we talk about
it
that?
was, you know, this area was, we revisited this and there was an
Oh,
error
there's
with
a-
it. So we changed it and we readjusted.
Wait, this is old.
This is the old, that's the new.
Okay, so it looks like
This is
this
like
is
a
now a
setback.
continuation,
So
right, it
that's-
looks like a setback, I think we were questioning.
Mhm,
Question
that was,
roof and-
yeah, that was a question and you were
So
correct about it.
It wasn't set back.
It wasn't set back.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think it's
So that was
better
just an
without the
error in
setback.
drawing.
That was
That was just
originally,
an error in drawing.
yes.
Okay.
Originally
haven't
was
changed.
done that way and then we never changed it. It was done because then the addition kind of got a little bit bigger, so that's why it was.
What were we talking about, you said study the brackets on the front elevation?
Yeah, I think this is cantilevered out about 2 feet.
Yes, and you know, we talked about having the brackets, it just don't belong, but balancing the
Where's the
windows,
bracket?
I think it changes everything in here
Yeah, the
and
setback.
gives it a lot softer look. You know, adding another window and
Yeah,
You
well, that's
look at
improved,
the
we agree,
windows.
we agree,
Yes.
that's improved.
the originally what we mentioned something about adding the brackets, but we're gonna be introducing a new element to the house that really doesn't belong.
Wait, this isn't Taylor, this is Pines Bridge, right?
Mine's a big yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay. I thought we had.
no, I don't.
Joe, Claudia, comment?
No.
No?
I was just. No,
Yeah,
no,
comments?
he's just here for the next one.
Comments? Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
But are you the next one as well?
Yeah, well, Joey is gonna handle that,
Oh.
he worked on it in the office.
Okay.
Thank you very much, have a very nice evening, and we appreciate your input, by the way, you were correct about it. Okay, thank you.
This is 23 Taylor.
This is not.
This is a brand new application. You know.
You have photos of the house?
Yeah, they're here.
Yes, you need another,
Oh, you do? Great.
I'm sorry, your name?
Joe
Joe, what?
Pataki. I work with Roy.
You need me or?
No, I'm good.
Nothing.
Yeah, my prints aren't as fancy as you guys, you guys have good quality printer.
Oh.
No, just the quality prints.
That's right.
Which is the house itself? Is that that?
Yeah, that's the existing front elevation.
It's a long house.
These are existing?
That's proposed, so the biggest change from the existing to proposed is on the existing, this roof pitch comes down lower and it's uneven. Yes, and then also in this section, the existing roofs kind of taper off in a strange way on this side. And they wanna add walk-in closets for these 2 bedrooms in this space, so I tried to continue the back.
That's new. So wait,
So hold on a
the 2 gables is proposed?
Yes, we're
This-
raising them up and making them
Okay,
symmetrical.
just next time it'll help if you say proposed and existing, because they both say front elevation, so it's really
Okay.
confusing.
And
Yeah,
so you,
so-
so you're raising the roof and going all the way across.
The roof, most of the roof is staying the same, but the section on the left with those 2 smaller windows, that's a new roof. And then these 2 gables are being raised up.
He's pulling it,
where's the-
he's
where's
pulling it
the
over
front?
to here.
Yes.
Where's the front?
No, it's
That's
around, yes, it's
Oh, they're
around the
not
existing
getting rid
first
of
floor wall.
Right, but the second floor addition.
Yes.
The second floor addition of the walk-in closet
Yes,
over there.
What happened to your front door? Where's the front door?
it's
We're-
still
we're
there.
missing it here.
No, it's still there.
This, oh, it's in
Okay.
between the, oh, just trying.
Yeah, it's trim pieces on the side and then
So is there
There's no,
is there a
there's no
flat
cover
roof
anymore?
or something?
Not-
What is that?
no, it's,
Cause it's, you're bumping the
Yeah.
second floor out.
yes, this is coming out to the same as this wall here.
Got it.
Go up there.
Or
All
actually, I
this
think it's
makes
So now it's
sense.
just one all flat?
So
Yes.
long that you've got
And then it's
the
just
great
broken up
So
by
this is
three.
just off.
I'll say the plan.
It's nice.
Yes, yes. First floor plan. But when this, unless they're bringing something in here, are they filling in, do you have any, are you filling this in, do you have an
No,
existing?
that's existing, yes, I have existing plans, but that's existing,
Except
Is this fly all the way
Yes.
across today?
yes.
it doesn't look, there's a shed roof here, so this is set back.
The second floor is set back over the front door.
Okay.
So that's coming out,
So this isn't changing on the first floor.
no, the whole
This
footprint
in
is
the back,
staying
they
the
bring
same.
it in,
And this,
On
these
the back
bays are
too?
much smaller or not? How do they, no,
It's
they're
the
going to
same
be
width.
like that, the
Yes.
same width.
but how is the
They're
back?
This is going
They're
to
like
be like
flattening
Yes.
everything, so.
There's
This
room
is
to
just
the back?
This is all one
One,
plane
yeah.
to here,
You know?
and then this all becomes one
It's probably
plane
just
because
because
this
the
is.
roof is,
So how can it be if you look at the floor plan?
No, this is,
And all sorts of
That's
depths.
that's this used to be this.
because he says it's exactly the same footprint.
Unless you-
Oh, I see, right, okay, you're right.
So they're really only flat. So they're really only
Is this the same width?
What is the
here
back
to
of the
there,
house look like?
yes,
Right.
it's gonna stay.
and then
And
this is
this
still
is the
set
same
back.
as this.
Right, right, here's the back of the house.
Okay, because look,
These are new
so
windows.
it's set, it
Yes.
goes set back.
Oh.
It just looks like this is all
Yeah, so
one
the
flat.
Drawings
window
is just
changes,
very,
I
no,
see.
thank you.
Yes, yes, this is new here. This-
And
these are-
the
this is-
lower one, you have the middle.
Yeah, the old door was off center here.
What's the blue and all this
You know,
chart?
it's all like a glass,
It's still gonna be like that on the side and the back.
the white walls that are changed.
Just to make this a little bit more symmetrical in the front. But there's still gonna be
So
plenty
what
of,
kind of exposure is this? The
So where's
existing
the
filtration, do you know?
it's northwest.
This is the new, right? The orange?
Because
Can I ask something? So you're pulling this plane flush with this?
Yeah, is it,
Second floor plan or first floor?
Who's this?
it's in one, that's the owner.
Oh, this is, okay.
So you're
It's
you're
in
pulling,
1 foot from,
but it's still pretty much, you're
Yes.
pulling it much further in with this plane.
yes.
So how are the eaves lining up?
It's just gonna have a longer overhang in just that front section.
No, the problem, this is set back, right?
Yes,
Existing
Oh.
and proposed.
the the existing roof is, there's a section that's flat in the middle and then the hips kind of come down however they need it to work, so that roof, that middle roof over the front door is just gonna be a new roof in between those two gables.
Do you have a roof plan?
No, I didn't do it.
Yeah, but one's gonna come further down than the other, right?
Yeah, I don't
The line will be the
understand how the
same.
roof is working.
It's gonna be a shallower pitch just to come out to that new wall, but you're never gonna see the change in pitch because it's inside the existing gables.
So it needs to be a
So
line.
this pitch is gonna be different than this pitch.
Yes,
So you need to have a line,
That's
because you're
weird.
changing the pitch between this
It
and
would-
that, yeah?
be at this, at
No,
these
maybe you can
points.
see some of it here.
So this whole section would be shallower.
So you're redoing the whole roof, yeah?
This is staying and this is new and this is staying.
Any comments, guys, who wants to start? Nobody? And I'll start, just from the front, you're taking, you know, I mean, it's already like a very long house,
Mhm.
but at least it's got some massing, some breaking down of the massing and some texture, and now you're flattening it and turning it into a big rectangular box. That's very flat.
Well, this isn't all flat.
No, I'm
This is
saying-
existing,
I'm saying-
these are existing.
I'm saying the new one, he's turning something.
No, but on the new one, this whole thing's not on one plane.
But it's-
Because look on the. See, this setback.
So what this looks like is a long house with these two things coming forward.
Right.
They're
Yes, that's the
erasing a lot.
Right, they're taking
on
this,
the other side.
this is what you get instead of this,
Right, no, that I.
and I think that's a, just,
And then
No,
this is
I
all the
mean, I
walk-in
think that
closet
was-
dressing.
there's no. this
But
is-
I thought you were,
Because
you
they're
were
existing walk-in closets.
representing this as one big flat.
No, maybe I'm exaggerating a bit, but even here, I mean, this is becoming so much more boxy, and this is breaking down scale and different roofs.
Yes. That's where the existing window is here.
I think they're hurting, they're doing some damage to the house.
And
What
it's a
year is
beautiful
this,
block.
what year is the
Beautiful
original
house.
house?
It's a beautiful block. Is this right across from the country club?
No, this is in,
Goes
this is
further
on
up the-
Club Way.
It says Taylor.
Yes, but the driveway comes onto Club Way.
Mailbox is on Taylor, there's a, Clubway is a intersects on Taylor, it's kind of tucked back in.
So it goes further.
No, it's
So when you go past the
halfway up
golf
Taylor,
course.
yeah,
It's closer to
Taylor,
128.
you go left on Clubway and it's like that.
Oh, it's closer to 128.
So what year is this house?
I'm not sure.
It's just, it's a beautiful block.
Everything's not in the
Let me check.
late 50s.
It's a charming house, and it was a charming house. It's currently a charming house,
Yes, no, you're
and
right.
I think the additions are taking away all the charm. Everybody agree?
I agree.
Yeah, I think it,
agree. But they want to add this.
They want added.
But they should do it in a way that keeps the charm of the house.
I would maybe bring back what was there originally, kind of separating the top half to the bottom. Right now, it just looks like it's pretty repetitive, right?
Mhm.
The original one, you know, there was some repetitiveness, but the second floor versus the first floor were pretty distinguished. I think maybe introduce some of that language again, could help.
In the trim work?
Yeah. Right now it does read like it is flat, but in plan, we know that it's not. I just think it'll help break it up a little bit.
I mean, all the nice breakdowns and voids in the existing house, are gonna fill in.
So same question with this, is this a third roof pitch to get to this level?
It's the, you can see it better on the side elevation in here. It's basically the same pitch as the roof to the right of it. It's just to get more headroom in that space with those two windows.
So you have one pitch, two pitch, a third different pitch, and these two match.
Yes,
And you said there's a flat roof somewhere?
Yeah, I can definitely do a roof plan to better explain that.
Is it over the second floor infill?
Yes, it's basically centered with the front door and it's an 8 foot by 8 foot area.
That's how you get the eave to be high?
I'm not sure how they ended up needing that during construction. I know that none of the roofs really, there's some changes, I don't know if you can really tell. There were some changes in the eave heights in certain sections of the existing house. And also the way that this rear gable died into it, they had this flat section, I'm not sure why they constructed it like that. You can't really see it from anywhere, the only way I found it was from looking at the aerial views.
But you're saying the flat roof part is on the front?
It's like centered in the main box of the house. It's somewhere pretty much right over the staircase.
So you don't have a ridge at some point, you have this mansard-like thing?
Yes, in that middle section.
So I think that's, without designing it, is you've taken this, I think, interesting, articulated structure probably from the 1930s, let's say, or 20s, with a lot of kind of elegant massing throughout, and you've kind of just flattened everything out. You've done what I call a developer spec roof. Anytime I see a flat roof, I know a developer worked on it. It's just really an awful way to resolve a roof. And I think this house deserves a lot more than that. So I'd love to see a roof plan next time without any flat pieces.
Oh,
and I really don't understand how this roof is working. It must be 3 or 4 different pitches on the top. When in the past, when people were designing houses, they made their roofs have some sort of logic to them. And this one, you were just making everything on the exterior fit with the logic of the closet or something. I don't know. That's my feeling.
The flat section's existing.
I can't tell. I don't know where it is.
Okay.
To me, it looks like there shouldn't be a flat roof on the existing.
Yes, it was I couldn't see it from anywhere. It was very difficult to get the existing elevations to work out because I couldn't figure where that flat section was until I looked at the aerial views.
Do you have the aerial view?
I have it on, no.
It's okay. Well, somebody else comment on what needs to be done.
Well, I think overall, we just think that some of the charm of the original house is lost. To bring that back. I mean, there's a lot of really beautiful details. It's a little hard to tell on. Yeah. It's a little, yeah, it's yeah, there are just some beautiful details like this. This is a column, I mean, I know it's column here and there that are just adding to the personality of the house, and that's being lost.
Maybe don't fill in all this, all the breakdown now, you're filling it all in and squaring it all off, maybe see if you can dial that back a little bit.
Okay.
It is a beautiful, charming house.
So there's no overhang over the front door, right? Because now the second floor is.
There's just the roof, the eave overhang from having this little roof right here, this 1 foot setback roof.
Oh, there's
How far
there's
does
a
it come
setback.
out over the plane of the door?
Just another foot, so there isn't really a roof over the front door.
You wanna rethink that, most
Yeah,
people
you
like
may want-
that,
They
like
like
not
some
getting
type
wet
of
when they're up
protection.
here. That's why somebody added this at some point.
Yeah, that's
I mean, I think it's a nice little elliptical portico and, you know, looks like you're keeping some of the trellis detail on the porch on the right and some other details. It's like it's almost a shame to lose it. Why are you getting rid of it?
The front,
The
Portico.
that can be something that I can discuss with the owners, how they feel about that.
It's nice to have cover and it's nice to
Yeah.
have the more obvious cue of where the front door is.
Yeah, I would usually prefer to have the roof over the front door. If it just goes
It'll
down to.
give it a central focus also, cause right now, I mean, I had a hard time finding where the front door was.
Yeah, this door.
And part of it's
trim
the
is-
drawing, but
But also look at the back, look at all the elevations in terms of where you're filling everything in and wildly oversimplifying and losing some of the charm and detail and see if you can get it back on, not just the front, we're only talking about the front, but also.
Sure. I can see that.
And maybe some of that's even, you know, sometimes when you have one roof on the whole house, that kind of hurts you because it, again, oversimplifies and makes it look bigger than it is. Alright, so you'll be automatically on the next hearing in we have 2 weeks,
The meeting will be on May 21st. Deadline is Wednesday, May 2nd. So as long as you provide me with everything, I can add it on the agenda.
thank you.
Next one is 26 Vales.
So this is the only thing.
Yeah.
Taylor? When? I mean, he's welcome to stay.
Okay.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello. How's it going? Hey.
Tired.
I feel you.
It's my bedtime, man.
My dinner.
Oh, man.
Homeowners, architect.
I'm the architect, these are the homeowners right here, so. Roy, and so these, the project here, that we have a ranch house, that, was just purchased and the owner is looking to, make interior alterations, but as part of that to, in order to make some of the spaces a little bit more livable, we're expanding, just kind of squaring off some awkward, corners and, providing a new roof line and attic space upstairs, and just improve the overall finishes and exterior of the facade.
Where is Vales Lane, on the other side?
Yeah, it's off of 133. So it's on
really?
it's kind of on the Ossining Newcastle border. So it's actually
Oh, okay.
Ossining
Oh,
Failing
133
Address.
as it goes up the
Yep.
hill.
Goes right.
Okay,
Yeah,
got it.
yeah. Just on the other side of 100.
Cause over
On
here,
the west
there's,
side of
there are a
100.
bunch of streets named after ski resorts, so.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah, there's, I think, recommended. Yeah, there's, but this would be Vales.
Okay, so what should we look
Yes, I mean, we
for?
can maybe, look at the elevations, I think is really that's where we're,
Well, let's start with the plan, let's see what you're filling in.
yeah.
Yeah, floor plan.
Sure, so in plan, we are, if you look at the,
Hold on,
What page?
what
yeah,
page?
so let's go on to a, go over here. We look at a 100 is probably the best one. To kind of the main footprint changes are, let you guys get caught up. So we're squaring off, you can actually, you compare on that drawing, you can see the basement footprint next to the first floor footprint. So on the left side of the drawing, on the
Bring
first.
this down?
Yep, so we're squaring off the left side of the house, which is spaced kind of over and next to the garage. Where the bedrooms are, Where currently there's about an 8-foot setback, and then on the right side of the drawing, similarly, you can see where the line hatch, the line hatch on the kind of the top of the drawing, where squaring off was also a bumped out portion of the facade there as well.
So next to the garage, or are you just having posts there?
Yeah, so at grade level, that will be overhanging, kind of creating a little covered entry to the downstairs of the garage.
Maybe some good floor insulation will be cold.
Correct, yeah, it'll be well insulated.
And then you're raising what looks like the front door was.
Correct, so in the front, that's the other, that's actually probably the most important change that we're making, and certainly from visibility from the street right now. On 8200, you can see the existing and proposed front elevations. So there's kind of an awkward, split level ranch overhang of the front roof, and we're creating an entrance portico, which will provide an entrance directly up to the main floor. Right now it's split, so you're entered at the kind of the mezzanine, central level, half light down to the cellar or basement, and a half light up to the main floor. So this we're taking advantage of an existing stone wall on the site in front of the house, and trying to take that stone wall and continue that up into the front of this portico. So using a natural rubble stone wall, and then topping that with a kind of a double pedimented entranceway, so there will be the lower level, the lower pediment is just over this entrance porch, which is exterior, and then above that, set back a few feet, is a dormer, which will just provide some light to a storage attic, and really just to adorn the facade a little bit, break up the roof line.
So you're adding a floor, are you activating an attic space?
We're creating an attic, right now there's a crawl space up there, so we are creating an attic with access to it, and we're putting dormers up there. Right now it's a storage space.
Oh, okay.
It's not a room.
It's not, there's no conditioned space. We are adding a staircase up to that space.
So that's phase 2, or?
That right now it's a storage attic. There's potential in the future to make alterations and creating spaces up there.
I don't know if you looked into the sprinkler code, but Chapel has additional requirements on top of the state code, so you should look at that.
Yeah, and we've had some discussions about that as well. Yes, thank you.
You got dormers on the side, so you're setting it up for a few years.
We are dormering out, and part of that is also just one of the homeowners' concerns was redesigning the roof line a little bit to make it look more interesting from the street. Sure, so we're looking at you can
The siding is Milwaukee siding, right? It's a single 7-inch piece of siding, so it's very similar to hardboard, right? However, it's color all the way through, so that this way you don't have to paint it. Hardboard, you do have to paint after 15.
When you say composite with the material, I mean, is it like a vinyl type of?
It's like a vinyl material, exactly. Yep.
Some good shaping or something.
But it's not vinyl. So it's they call it a composite,
Different size, different angles, the roof pitch is different.
That's composite as well, yes, it's all composite
Not the
plywood.
same as this.
Composite. Yep, it's all made by the exact same company.
It's not usable, it's not, right now it's not
What is
usable
usable
space, so.
space? I mean, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, it's gonna be, right, you're intending to use it at some point.
And maybe in 10 years, it depends on how many kids we have and how much space we need.
Well, you're spending a lot of money to create it, so. I assume-
And it looks a lot better from the backyard, so.
Alright, who wants to start with comments? You guys. So, I'm not so comfortable, I'm just questioning, I guess, I'll start with the choice of the dormers that you put in.
Okay.
The number of them, the pitches, the different sizes, you start with the front of the house, you've got 3 completely different elements there. You know, I wish there was a way you could simplify it, I mean, you can, it's totally fine to take the attic and activate it, make it feasible in the future. But I mean, maybe a shed was a bit simpler, I mean, you got so much complexity in the roofs here and, you know, these two here and then you've got a shed on another one, I mean, the language is all over the place.
Okay.
That's where it started, I mean. And from getting a door up here, I mean, so what do you have now, when you go in, is it like a split level, the stairs and sliding up and down?
Exactly.
You should think about this, because
And that's
in the
a lot
winter
of-
time, there are a lot of steps to go climb.
We'd be using the mudroom entrance. From the driveway, which is right off the driveway.
The main entrance for the homeowner is through the garage, and there's an internal staircase up to the main living space.
Well, I think the front of the house, it looks, you know, you've got, what, 8 feet of masonry?
About, yeah.
It's almost like a castle wall that you've just designed, again, which I think, you know, is there a better way to more elegantly get up to the front door? Understanding that you've basically raised the front door from a split level to the second floor of the house. That is there some way to mitigate it so it's not, you know, 8 feet of masonry wall, you know, this giant plinth that you have there to get up to that.
Yeah, we can break that wall up. I think that there's a plan, we've had prior designs that show a wood, more of a wooden base to that.
Yeah, I just think that's imposing and not keeping with the house, and I agree with Bob, is you've got, you know, this medium-sized dormer, small dormer, and then you've got the intersecting gable, and then this comes out, right?
Correct.
And
Yeah,
then
there's a side elevation that shows the relation of those two dormers.
And then it somehow intersects. How does it intersect?
If you look at, I think on A, yeah, you can see. Yeah, on A203, you can see on that side elevation, you can see the porch dormer and then the.
Right, so you have that porch roof is basically just stopping at this extension.
Yeah, it abuts the attic extension,
But
correct.
it's just stopping, it actually, you have it drawn so that the eaves are a little bit past that. If I'm look, you have this kind of almost Jackson Hole-like roof here that's going here, but it's stopping at this plane, right?
Correct.
Which to me seems awkward. It looks funny, and I think what's missing also is like there should be, you know, is your casing really gonna be that small, and you don't show any corner boards, and I think all those little details that, you know, make things look a little bit real, I think are missing in the drawing. So this thing shoots out way far,
Yeah, you can see in plan as well.
so it's not even a door, you know, this will get lost.
Yeah, you got a whole bunch of, you know, separate elements that are pasted together and you don't really have a cohesive whole.
Yeah,
And
but
it's a big ambitious addition and I wish you could synthesize it somehow.
We can take a look at that.
Yeah.
I understand the comment.
I mean, yeah, again, the masonry, looking at, if I accepted this elevation, which I don't, you know, I would expect that masonry to go back to the house, but it actually stops again at this little addition here. It just seems very, very awkward. And then also this roof line you have up here, there's no, you know, the gable just is flush with the front of the structure. I just think it's just missing, I don't think the details have been worked out. I mean, maybe your intention is to have it projecting, but it's not showing that way. And again, it's always a question when you're drawing it, is it 6 inches, is it a foot, is it 18 inches, you know, what is that projection? And since it's all a new house, you can kind of establish that language here. It looks like you have about 12 to 14 inches over here.
They're not. Exactly. This is more of it's a center addition and then the dormer is on the side. Yeah.
And
Yeah, it works better.
where's the floor
Yeah,
plan? Which is the floor
Word
plan?
with line is also.
It's in the.
Yeah, we can look at
Trying to
that.
see why they're
So,
doing this, because they're adding some space here, that's why. Such a bad choice, function. But
this
if
this
they
is
kept,
this is pulling up.
if they kept the door in, they would have.
And this is basically a gut renovation, the whole interior
It's
of
a
the
gut
house.
renovation, yeah.
Yeah, and even if, you're saying you're gonna come in the mudroom, not come in the front, you're spending a lot of money in creating essentially a new house. And just think, you actually will have a resale at some point. I've been here 25 years, time flies. It's an awkward condition here that somebody else might not be happy having to climb up ice and snow for, 8 feet, Is there a way you can have it half as high, or, maybe you have to figure out how the steps work, and I can see you wanna bump out and create some more space for foyer, I get that makes sense. But maybe look at it a little bit, because you're doing something nice on the inside, but the trade-off is you're pasting this big staircase tower on the outside. Is there a way to be more sensitive?
I think we can certainly break up that front tower, I hear you on that, I think we have some stone piers that maybe we can use to carry the stone up, but maybe break up the middle so it doesn't feel so monolithic. And that makes a lot of sense, and that entranceway, I mean, the grade of the property, even now, there's several stairs up to that middle level, and I think really the goal here is to have the entrance on the main living floor, and that eliminates some of the stairs, and so it kind of allows them to reclaim some of the square footage, which is more important to them. So I think that does make sense. And I think that
And also, I don't like the open staircase, from the living floor. If you have children, you have to put a baby gate there. I don't like baby gates, they always mark up the wall, so I don't want an open staircase like that.
The window fenestration at all?
Well, and then also the remaining posts you have next to the garage, I mean, I think they look incredibly slender. Visually, they don't look like they would hold up that house, and of course, we know they would, they're probably steel, but I would look at putting something there to give it some more,
And I want some trim here too, I mean, it looks like now there's just a cutout with a few ladder columns over it.
we can look at trimming out the base of a base trim on that portion.
That's existing.
Existing.
Well, that's the existing element.
Yeah, on each one, we were trying to give you a sense of, I
Just look at all
that's
of
good
the
to show the
sides.
existing.
yeah, it's always
No,
missing,
it's
I
helpful,
do the BA, I run the BAR on Ossining, and it's like a constant complaint.
Okay, we meet again in 2
The
weeks.
21st,
21st, what's the submission deadline?
next Wednesday, the 14th.
Good, I head out for the 15th from now, so I'll be in there. Okay, understood, thank you for the comments, I think we'll all have
Yes, sir. I gotta staple them.
Oh, can we
What?
put them in order?
No, it's okay, I'll do it.
Yeah, they're not stable. Alright. Was there one? No.
Two.
Yeah, we did.
We have one more?
That's you guys.
Hi, how are you, everyone? My name's Stu, this is the engineer for the house. Thank you. Nice meeting everyone.
You're the owner?
Yes, I am.
My name is Jovito Luz,
The architect?
we just did drafting.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry?
We just did the drafting for him and the design. And let me start with showing you the existing elevation of the house. This is primarily just an interior renovation of a garage. We're trying to convert it into his grandmother's sort of apartment. As you can see here, the topography of the ground, the current house now is way above there, so his grandmother's having difficulty going up and down, so they're trying to put it down. So this is the two-car garage right now. So we're trying to finish this with the garage. On the side of this garage, you have an existing door, access door. So this is the floor plan, this is an existing stairs, so this is the area that's gonna be renovated. So there'll be these hatch lines here, these are the walls that they will put in. I think his father's trying to put in an office right there. And you're also occupying this, right?
No, it's just gonna be for anything used basically. It could be office if you know, it could be anything, closet.
But just on the exterior, basically you're taking off the garage doors,
Doors, yeah, and then
infilling with walls and putting
yeah,
two windows in each of them.
Yes.
So the elevation view, the elevation view.
You're only
the
changing one
proposed
facade, the other three is staying exactly the
No,
same?
no. So they're just gonna close the doors you see in the first, so they're just gonna close it and putting the four windows in there.
So my only comment is to put a bar across the casement window,
This one here.
put a bar across it to make it look sort of like the double hung.
Okay,
No,
okay.
fake kind of.
yes, I can do that, yes.
Okay. So there will be a grill type or
What's that?
a grill type window or?
Well, usually it's a thick, just a thick bar, I don't know what window system you're using, but just a thick bar, so it looks,
So it just
so it
looks
has a
like
horizontal
matches the
cut.
others.
Okay, alright, okay.
The window company probably makes something that
Yeah, yeah,
it's
you
not
could-
really a double
You could draw
hung.
that.
If you use Anderson, they'll do that for you.
Okay.
So none of the other elevations are affected?
No, it's only the taking out the garage door
Mhm.
and then putting in a wall there. So that is shown in the floor plan.
There's a door there, how do you access that?
It can be accessed from the floor above and also there's a door right here. This is an existing door.
That's existing.
Yeah.
Okay.
All that
We'll make
I
that
know,
change.
that's
Well,
We'll make
does he have to
that
sign it or whatever?
Yeah.
You're
So if you
good.
could just
Thank you so
draw
much. I
that
appreciate
line
everyone.
on the three plans and just initial it.
Okay.
Why initial it or?
The arch.
No, the
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll issue it and we'll just put a revision date. Do you want to cloud that area?
Yes.
Sorry, you cloud it,
Yeah,
put
yeah,
the line
yeah.
and initial it.
Alright, okay.
Oh,
Thank you very much. Thank you.
What is it?
Oh, no, those from minutes.
Oh, draw the
Draw the initial.
I, nothing personally, because he does it too long.